we looked at the child death review team data to show that we are having a huge number of children who were dying in their sleep. At its peak, it's 25 children a year are dying, which is every other week a child dies in Sacramento in their sleep. And again, half of them are African American. Through the Steering Committee on Reduction of African American Childhood Deaths, we started to come up with sort of ways of figuring out how to do this.
Well, sleep assessments have been an important part of our work. Most people usually assume if you're talking about African American children, you're talking about violence or some other tragedy that befalls that particular family or child or community.
It made sense that we could have an impact on the education that we were sharing with our families and giving them the best start that we could give them.
The nurses working with our families provide education around safe sleep practices for their infants once they go home, as well as in the hospital. And that begins with the ABCs. A being that they're alone in their crib, B being that they're on their back, and C being that they're placed in their crib. And with that, during that education, the nurses ask, do they have someplace, a safe place for their baby to sleep, a crib? And if a patient or family answers no, then one is provided free to them.
When we're assessing them and asking them if they have cribs, where the baby is sleeping, it's amazing how many family members say they don't know what should we have for them. So it's a huge educational piece for both family members and us, so we can really be on board with what their needs are.
Infant safe sleep deaths are preventable deaths. You can't always change people's decisions, and of course people will continue to make their own decisions, but as long as they have the information to make the best decisions that they can and they know there's resources for them, then half of your battle is gone.
So we're finding those families and that success also in establishing a program where all the education is the same, where we're doing the same education at all these different facilities, that's a success right there, to have all the hospitals on board. It's huge.
The idea that you can actually prevent families and communities and parents from experiencing the kind of tragedy that goes along with losing a child, particularly a very young child, makes the challenge of making a difference really worth it.
So my hope is that as every hospital system in Sacramento is on board doing this, providing these cribs for patients, the numbers go down so significantly that it becomes just the standard practice everywhere. And that's my hope.